Hi, I'm Arthur Gu, and I make Reproduction Coleman parts. Recently, I became interested in the Coleman Peak 1400. The Peak 1400 is a great stove. However, I encountered a minor problem. That was this guy. These generators are a wear part, and yet Coleman doesn't make them anymore, and they're extremely expensive and hard to find. Thus, I sought to solve this problem. And I solved this problem by making my own reproduction generators. Very soon, you will be able to purchase reproduction generators for the Peak 1400, the 508, the 576, and a multitude of other stoves. Now, why would you choose my generator over the new old stock generator? Well, for one is the cost. A new old stock generator will set you back somewhere around $100, compared to my generator, which will set you back somewhere around between $50 and $60. Now, another thing that you should consider before buying my part is that there are a few design differences between my part and Coleman's part. For one, I decided to go with the Teflon packing. A Teflon valve packing has a few key benefits. For one, it may be more durable. However, the graphite packing is already very durable. So that's not a big concern. It is also more serviceable. With a graphite packing, if you ever need to service the part for any reason, you have to carefully pick out the entire part packing without damaging the threads or something around it, and you've destroyed the packing. Or you might pull it out, and if you get lucky, you might be able to save it, but probably you won't be able to. Compare that to a Teflon packing. With a Teflon packing, you simply loosen the packing nut, you'll wait about a half an hour for the packing to relax, and it's relatively easy to pull the entire thing out. Now, another advantage to my part over Coleman's part is this. This is an eccentric flaring tool. An eccentric flaring tool is good because it makes rolled flares compared to Coleman, which use pushed flares. Coleman's flares, it has a very distinctive swage right above the flare. And this is an indication that they likely used a rotary flaring tool. A rotary flaring tool will create weaker flares that don't seal as well. Compare this to my flares. My flares, if you look at them, they're shiny on the flare face. And there is no swage. This means that there's both a larger sealing surface and the sealing surface is smoother, leading to a better flare that will last longer and will not crack as easily compared to Coleman's flares. Now, there are a few disadvantages to my part. I didn't chamfer the corners of the main square part. Now, this really doesn't hinder the functionality at all. But the corners are a bit sharper, although I do take care to hit it with a file to reduce a bit of the sharpness. It is still sharper than Coleman's part. Another difference between my part and Coleman's part is that Coleman's part has wrench flaps on the gas tip, while mine does not. Quite simply, this was done in order to cut costs. While this is a minor inconvenience, one can simply use a pair of pliers with something like an inner tube or a piece of leather to prevent scratches in order to service the gas tip. Thus, this is a minor inconvenience with a large advantage of saving quite a bit of cost. Instead of using an injection molded plastic knob at the end of the handle, at the end of the lever, I decided to go with a silicone knob. A silicone knob is way cheaper than an injection molded plastic part because I did not need to create an injection mold. Injection molds are extremely expensive, and with such a short run, I decided it was not worth it, and it simply went with a silicone knob. The silicone knob is a bit grippier than the plastic knob, and it stands up to heat a little bit better. I couldn't have used a 3D printed knob because a 3D printed knob would not be able to stand up to the heat inherent to a stove. Next time you are looking to purchase one of these generators, I hope you'll consider my generators. Thank you very much.